the moment your audience sees that you are trying to sell and they see this as a commercial ad, they won't engage with you. So the number one advice is just be authentic.
Welcome back to another episode of Selling Strategies. We're here with Tejas today from EBG, eBusiness Guru, and we're going to be talking about all things TikTok Shop strategy for this Selling Strategies episode. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about EBG and what you guys do?
Sure, no problem. So thank you so much, Emily, for having me today. So my name is Tejas, and I'm the founder and CEO of eBusiness Guru. We are an e-commerce agency. We've been running for the last 15 years. We've been Linworks partner for over 13 years now.
Oh my gosh.
We started as a Linworks implementation specialist. We have helped over 800 plus customers. We have built around 300 private apps for Linworks as well. And we are also Linworks distributor. So the customers who would like to subscribe Linworks through us as well, we help them by doing that. Apart from that, since last 2 years, we become a TSP, which is a TikTok strategic partner. And the brands who are selling online, either on their websites, on a marketplace, now we are helping them to sell on a TikTok as well. We have a full house studio in London. We have 3 studios, and we have a team of affiliates, hosts, and also live specialists as well.
One of them being Scott, who was on stage today.
That's
Loved
right.
it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got an opportunity to present today, did a live during the lunch as well, and basically help the community to know that how the TikTok Lives works and how they can also go live with their brands by having the right professional advice.
Yes, and it's always good to have that community advice as well. It's scary going live, right? No one wants to do that. It's scary launching on a new channel.
Yeah.
And you guys are the pros, and that's why you're here today.
Yeah.
How has TikTok Shop evolved as a sales channel, and why is it such a strong play for peak season this year?
TikTok Shop has evolved from social commerce experiment to a global powerhouse by doing $33.2 billion last year. TikTok has started as a discovery, a passive discovery platform. Now it turned into active commerce. What we are seeing that there are many social media channels were out there like Facebook and Instagram. But what I really like about TikTok is that it's all-in-one functionality where you can add a product. You can tag a product easily. You can tag on a video. You can tag on a live as well. You can create a bundle. And the most important thing, customer can make a purchase without leaving the app. When that just makes the entire experience seamless. And that's where I see that TikTok is going to be, one of the channels to look for in the coming years to come.
This is only the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
It's only going to get bigger.
Absolutely.
What are the key differences between brands that just show up on TikTok and those that actually convert on the platform? Because I find that it's one thing just having an account on there, right? But then it's a completely different ball game selling as well.
Absolutely. So, today I had many conversations, with many brands. So what I noted is that if you think about it, majority of the online sellers, traditionally, the way they were selling, that they use Linworks, right? And they list the products using Linworks on either eBay, Amazon, or their own websites. And that's it, their job ends. And they did something similar on a TikTok Shop as well. Linworks has an integration with TikTok. They put all the products and see how it goes. And many of them do see some success. But what I see, that the brands who are doing really well, they are not just doing that. TikTok is a video platform. It's a recommendation platform. So you need to make sure that you leverage all the angles which the TikTok is offering. So from my understanding and the brands what I work with, the brands who are doing really well, they have a right strategy and they have a right execution, right? Now, I will break it down that how they are implementing the strategy correctly. So the most important thing is optimizing the listing. Now, With TikTok, the backend is super easy to use. Their AI-driven model will tell you what are the things that are missing on your listing, so it is a lot more easier to optimize the listing.
So there's no guesswork really involved.
Absolutely, no.
In that.
They tell you what to put. The other thing is that once your listing gets done, then the real job starts, which majority of the retailers doesn't know, is to understand what are the trendy hashtags, what are the right captions you should put. Now, if you don't do that, then nobody will able to discover your products. So that's one of the area where I see that the brands who are doing that part really well, the products can be easily discoverable. Then TikTok, it's all about partnership. So the brands who are building up a strong affiliate partnership where they're understanding their brands and connecting that brand values to the right affiliates are allowing their brands to reach to a higher audience. So that's another thing which I have seen that successful brands are doing really well. And the last is analytics, because TikTok provides a lot of insights that who is watching your videos, who is watching your lives. And if you understand that, then you will able to get a clarity that is it Gen Z is your target customer? Is it a female audience is your target customers? Is it over 40s your target? And based on that, you go out, talk to the affiliates, your partners, and change the strategy. So it's being a lot more agile, plays a very important role to be successful on TikTok.
Yeah, and I find that when brands initially go onto TikTok, they treat it like any other social platform, and they only have their eyes on the vanity metrics, like I have 10K followers, so I'm going to sell a lot type thing.
Correct.
Whereas actually the community and the ecosystem and all of that, which actually plays a part as well.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, we have seen with majority of the brands now, the latest trend is the actual sales doesn't come from the higher number of followers, right? The actual sales come from the micro followers. So we'll go into detail
About that later in the podcast.
That's right.
Going into content and campaigns, what should a full funnel TikTok strategy look like beyond live shopping?
I think that's a really good question. So just before I answer that, just wanted to clarify that there are 4 ways as an online seller you can sell on TikTok. So the one which we all know, which is a TikTok shop, which is like a TikTok marketplace. The second is a live shopping. The third one is shoppable videos. The fourth one is live shopping. Many of the sellers or brand hasn't worked on a TikTok before, so they sometimes they think that there is a mystery behind it. But I personally think that TikTok is not that difficult, right? The way any marketing strategy you define, similarly, you have to define the strategy for TikTok as well. So the way when we have seen, to make any brand successful, you need to first create the awareness. The awareness of the brand, if it is not there on TikTok, it will be difficult for you to make your product discoverable. So to create awareness, you need to create a lot more content. In order to create a lot more content, you need to create an affiliate strategy. You need to build up that partnership strategy. Once you actually build up that, it will help you to go out and make your brand discoverable to a wider audience. Once the awareness is done, then you actually work on your consideration part. The way the consideration we think the brand can work on is by creating the educational videos, the product demos, talks about that, and again, use your community customers, the testimonials that will help to reinforce the customers that they should work with it. Then we have seen that the brands, after doing a consideration, work on conversions techniques. So going live and running special offers, running a short-term promotions, that will also create an urgency, right, and help the brands to get a conversion higher.
And TikTok Shop help with that, don't they? They have certain moments in the year where they help you run promotions themselves, right?
Absolutely. To be honest, the amount of promotions they co-fund is amazing, right? They do it, I think, every 6 weeks. They come up with the new promotions, and they are always co-funded. And the funds, the amount of investment they do, it can go up to £10,000 on ad credits, which is amazing, right? For the e-commerce sellers, for the brands, to having that level of the support coming directly from the marketplace, I think
You don't really see it in
Absolutely.
many other places.
No,
so
you don't.
take advantage of that.
Absolutely, yeah. And the last thing, what I would say is work on a retention strategy as well. Because once you have done all the hard work, the brand needs to make sure that they retain that customer by giving the early access of certain products, by running a special discount to the existing followers, and work with them by building a trust. If they do that, they will become your real influencers and help your brand to scale.
Yeah, in a conversation in another episode you guys will see later on, we actually spoke with Scott about going live and how building trust with your community whilst you're selling is a big part of it. But you'll have to wait for that one.
Yeah.
From what you've seen so far, what promotion or campaign structures are currently working best for clients during Q4?
Yeah, again, a great question. I mean, I've been asked this many times that, okay, what is the right format? Is it a 15 seconds video is it right, or a 60 seconds? So we have seen the lower the time is better. Okay. So 10 seconds is minimum. So between 10 till 40, 50 does a really good job. So short form videos in a nutshell, the native fill videos do really well, because if you try to put the video which you have created for Insta, won't work here, right? It needs to be authentic. It needs to be relatable, right? So the brands who actually follows very specific guidelines, I see they struggle. So they need to be a lot more natural. They need to come up with the new brand guidelines, because no matter whatever the brief you give, the moment it goes to the influencers, they come up with their own way of explaining this, and it goes viral. So I would suggest that, authentic content, right? Short form content, more relatable content are the one which is working really well.
Less of a hard sell.
Absolutely.
More of just like day to day, your average person.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of businesses get this wrong. They think it has to be this wow, amazing, like jet set piece of content. It doesn't need to be.
No, I agree, because we just need to understand that when you watch TikTok, you are sitting in your home, you are on your couch, and then you want to get entertained, right? Now, you don't want to see any commercial ad. You want to see, funny ad. You want to see something which is going to help you to make your day-to-day work easy, right? So whether it could be any brand which can be used in your home or in your office, but it has to be relatable, right? It has to be authentic. So if you're a brand and having a strong brand guidelines, I think you should rethink your strategy for that.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you. How should brands think about their creator partnerships and affiliate relationships for Peak?
Affiliate partnership is one of the very key strategy for any brands. The brands who fail to actually achieve that, they struggle to build a long-term momentum on the brand. So what we recommend when we work with the brand is to prioritize working with the micro-influencer with the niche. Because when you do that, they have a strong, loyal followerships. Those loyal followerships create a higher engagement. And when they create a higher engagement, that leads into the sales, right? So don't go wild and say, I'm going to go and talk to everyone. I'm going to hire all the influencers. Don't do that. TikTok has an amazing affiliate setup available in their backend. Last time when I logged in, they have over 500,000 affiliates already available on the platform.
That's a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Ready to help you, right, as well.
Yeah. So that's where the big challenge comes, that when you have that many affiliates out there, how to identify the affiliates which can relatable to your brand, who can actually produce the content what they are looking for. And there is no rocket science on that. You just need to keep trying, right? Yeah. But you need to work on it. But before that, you need to work out what are the metrics you need to work on. And the last thing is build a long-term partnership with any affiliates you work on. Whatever the rewards you are offering, just make sure that it's workable. It shouldn't be one way. And think about them as your loyal partner, because we have seen that many of our affiliates, they don't just work one-off, right? They work with us for a long term. Sometimes they become so loyal to the brand, they don't even pick up other brands. So whether we say that, okay, we want exclusivity or not, they just offer exclusivity. In a nutshell, prioritize micro-influencer with the niche,
Yes. And you should see them more of an extension of your company rather than just someone you're hiring in to make a video.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, it's the most cost-effective way to scale your business.
And just because they have 2 million, 3 million followers doesn't mean that they're going to bring the results we want.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's all about that niche as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen that, the higher number of followers creates very big hype, but less conversion.
Exactly. What are the most common mistakes sellers run into when working with creators? What have you seen?
The common mistakes. I think when you enter into any partnership, like affiliate partnerships or influencer partnership, first of all, you need to set the right expectations. So you need to make sure that what exactly you would like to achieve out of it. Is it more views about your brand? Is it more engagement, likes? Is it more sales? And when you are trying to copy what other brands are doing or other influencers are doing and trying to implement on your brand, it won't work.
No.
Right? I mean, it always
Unfortunately, right.
That's right. It always fails. So what we recommend that in that situation, it needs to link with your own brand. It needs to be linked. It needs to talk about more personal to your brand. So that's another common mistakes they do. And selecting the right affiliate or influencer partner plays a very important role, because that's another area where we have seen a big issue, that selecting the wrong influencer also just delay your growth. So you should be very careful when you work on that.
So listings, logistics, fulfillment, what are the non-negotiables for operational success on TikTok Shop?
We have created a formula for our brands, and this is what we say that what other things are non-negotiable. And to remember that, we say that there are 2L and 2C you need to remember, right? So the first L is the optimized listing. So make sure your listing is fully optimized, right? Because that is the way TikTok algorithm will understand what your product is about. So you need to make sure you fill all the attributes, whatever the platform requires. So that's the first thing. The second thing, which is the logistics, you need to make sure you have the right logistics in place so you can fulfill all the demands. The third, which is very important, which has been neglected most of the time, which is the customer service. Make sure all the customers are getting answered, within the defined time frame. I think TikTok is quite reasonable, but I think you need to answer all the questions within less than 48 hours. So as long as you're answering your questions, it's going to help you. And the last, but is very important, is making sure that you are compliant with the platform. TikTok is a new platform, so they want to make sure that they maintain their reputation. So they are very hard with the metrics, with the seller metrics. So I always make sure that, tell the brands, make sure that you deliver the goods on a time, you make sure you answer all the queries. If there is any returns or refunds queries are there, attend it, because these are the early days. If your seller rating score is low, again, the algorithm will not prioritize your listing. So make sure that you work on that. And Linworks has amazing integration available, right? So if you are using Linworks, I'm sure you won't have those issues.
And how can sellers prep now to avoid backlogs, returns, or penalties during these busy periods? Because if the compliance is tough, they don't want to be doing anything during this season, Q4, to hurt any of that, right? So is there anything, maybe 2 or 3 things that they could do just to prep ahead of time?
What we do while we are working with our clients, our brands, that we actually make sure that the biggest thing TikTok offers is the virality. You don't know when the product is going to go viral and you run out of the stock, right? So you need to make sure that you actually use the analytics correctly and you forecast properly. Because, when you work really hard and the things goes viral and you don't have a stock, right? By doing that, your partners, influencers, they will get upset. Agency like us will get upset as well. And you also lose the sales, right? Loss of sales is that. So that's the forecasting is the key thing. The second is during the key period, making sure that you have right automation in place. Automations for OMS, like Linworks, making sure your fulfillment is correctly done. Because without having a right fulfillment system, that also plays a crucial role. So that's the second area. And the third is during the peak period, because you are going to get hundreds and thousands of orders, you need to make sure that you don't want any returns or refund situations. So you communicate your return policy and your shipping very clearly on your listings. The more clarity you do that, you will have a less backslash, and you will focus more on selling than the customer service.
It's all about keeping the customers happy, right?
Absolutely.
Especially in Q4.
Absolutely, yeah, agree with you.
What's your number one piece of advice for a brand looking to drive real revenue, not just views, this peak season on TikTok Shop?
One, it will be difficult, because the platform is quite new, and the brands needs to learn and work on a number of areas. So I will take a liberty to tell you not one, but 3 or 4 advice.
Please do.
Because I think that way the brands will able to implement the strategy for the peak season. So again, what I said earlier, that authenticity and agility is super important when you are selling on a TikTok. The moment your audience sees that you are trying to sell and they see this as a commercial ad, they won't engage with you. So the number one advice is just be authentic. The second is TikTok is all about influencers, affiliates, brands. I call TikTok as a recommendation platform. When we need to buy something, we talk to our friends from where do we buy. Now, you get a similar experience on TikTok where the influencers are going there, they are sharing their experience. So make sure you build a strong partnership with your affiliates, because if you do that, that will help you to scale your brand. So the third area where I want all the brands to focus on is to review your analytics on a regular basis. See who is engaging with your content, what kind of content is getting engaged, what is the demographic, is the right demographic, and what is your long-term goal? Is the brand, the message, what you are trying to communicate, is the influencers are relaying that message or not? So that's another area which I would recommend you should work on. And the last, which is making sure that you are always staying compliant with all the metrics, what TikTok is asking you to work on. Because if you do that, algorithm put you in a good books. And if you are in a good books, you definitely will get a good sales. And the final take, I would say that it's very easy to get attention on a TikTok. So use that attention as a currency. But by building a trust and executing that trust, using the leveraging, the affiliate strategy will allow the brands to scale on TikTok massively. So that's what I would like to say. And that if you are not live on a TikTok yet, don't miss the opportunity. I mean, that is the next platform I think you should work on. 100%.
Thank you so much. That is full of insight for our sellers to look at and also obviously explore. Thank you so much for joining me today and joining Selling Strategies. I'm sure we'll see each other again on the show again at some point as well.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you for having me as well. I mean, I hope that this insightful information will help this community to scale faster.